out, keep the balance. That's it, move side to side, that's good. Little feint, little feint. Finish with the up.
But what I want to do is do you some serious damage. Are you hearing me, you pig? So get plenty of steroids and juice down you, mate, because I will fight you tomorrow, today, anytime.
After watching the leaked training footage of Carl Froch, John Fury reacts by accusing Carl Froch and questioning how that kind of intensity is possible. He suggests something suspicious might be going on and claims the footage raises serious doubts about how Froch is preparing.
And when you do come there, mate, be prepared for some serious damage, because that's what I'm going to do to you. It's past it now, and I'm sick of you getting on you weasel making videos like a 14-year-old boy. You that's the image of a Shapton mallet pig, what's ate too much swill. I'm going to break you.
Carl Froch gives this response after John Fury accused him following the brutal training footage. Froch says John Fury must first prove he can stay on his feet for a few rounds. His response dismisses the accusation and shifts the focus onto John Fury's ability to handle a real fight.
I'll fight you, but you've got to do a job on them. You've got to show me, like I said, that you can even stay on your feet for 3 minutes or 2-minute rounds, whatever it is. Because I don't think you can.
John Fury reacts aggressively to the leaked footage by threatening Carl Froch. He claims he will do serious damage and labels Froch a steroids user. His reaction is full of anger and accusation, showing he feels provoked and intends to defend his reputation through intimidation.
So I'm going to box you for free. Not box you, fight you for free. I've got fame, I've got money, I've got enough. But what I want to do is do you some serious damage. Are you hearing me, you pig? So get plenty of steroids and juice down you, mate, because I will fight you tomorrow.
John Fury claims Carl Froch is using steroids to gain an unfair advantage and frames it as a serious violation. His statement shows he believes Froch is cheating and uses this as a way to question his legitimacy. Fury's reaction mixes accusation with a sense of superiority over Froch's alleged actions.
What we're doing here is trying to enlighten people in the world today that it is illegal to use your steroids, and that's what he's doing to gain an edge. Well, I feel sorry for him.
Duke Mackenzie explains that Carl Froch is motivated by money and accustomed to fighting for stakes. He says Froch may rise to the challenge if there's a prize, but without motivation, he wouldn't perform. Duke highlights Froch's professional mindset and the importance of incentives in his training and performance.
And then there's Froch, who's been paid to fight. He's used to getting money for knocking guys out. I'm sure if they put enough knocks in front of Carl Froch, in front of Carl Froch, then he might rise to it. But he ain't going to rise to it if there's no money on the table, if there's no end goal. If you want to punch up, you can go out in the street and have that any day of the week.
Carl Froch states he cannot see a fight at Wembley happening. He emphasizes John Fury's age and lack of fitness while reminding everyone of his own Hall of Fame career and experience fighting huge crowds. Froch projects confidence and dismisses John Fury's challenge entirely.
The work for the Cobra.
Pain Game explains Carl Froch's status as a top-level world champion. He praises Froch's physical condition, peak performance, and toughness. Pain Game describes Froch as the type of fighter others want by their side in tough situations, reinforcing Froch's reputation for resilience and elite-level preparation.
Carl's a genuine, world champion level fighter, and he's actually bigger than you'd think, right, when you meet him. He's a lot younger than John, and his peak was outrageously good, right? And he's kept himself in shape. And even now, I remember having a chat with Eddie Hearn, about what fighter you've met is the toughest fighter. And he said to me, if I'm ever in a bit of bother, the man I want standing next to me at a pub or whatever is called fucking
John Fury asserts that he will not back down from a fight. He says no one else matters in this situation if it makes business sense, and emphasizes that Carl Froch remains a significant draw. Fury presents himself as committed and focused on proving himself in the challenge.
Fight with you, my friend, and nobody else either on this planet. If it makes business sense, but them other people don't generate any money, but you do. Next world champion, people still love you. Let's see what you can do.
Lame Goff describes John Fury aggressively confronting Carl Froch. He notes Fury's history in the boxing ring and that he continues to push himself despite past losses. Goff portrays Fury as relentless and fearless when approaching Frock, highlighting his determination to make a statement.
He went and tried to approach Carl Froch, screaming all these things at him. You know, the fighting man, you know, John Fury, 100-0 on the hard road, in spite of the fact he's been ironed out in the boxing ring plenty of times, including by non-punchers like Henry Akin one day, and it's all there for the people to see. He was going in on Carl Froch.
Joe Egon states Carl Froch's dominance over John Fury without hesitation. He describes John Fury as merely a bully while highlighting Froch's Hall of Fame status and extensive history of defeating top-tier fighters. Egon emphasizes Froch's proven power and experience, portraying him as a calculated and lethal competitor who will overwhelm Fury if they ever meet in the ring. The focus is on Froch's career achievements and ability to handle pressure, framing him as far beyond the level of someone like John Fury, who Egon suggests lacks comparable skill and ring intelligence.
I watched Carl Froch getting knocked down by George Groves. He was gone. Carl Froch has an incredible will to win. The fights that he's had with the great champions, and he's come out of the sport intact. For John Fury to be calling out Carl Froch on his opinion, because Carl Froch is entitled to give his opinion in boxing. If you can't have freedom of speech, what was the point in these men and women dying in the world wars, giving their lives in vain?
What do you think would actually happen if John Fury and Carl Froch, as he is,
Carl Froch could stand there and say to John, I'll give you 2 free shots, John. Hit me with your right hand and hit me with your left hand. And
Liam Goff explains the back-and-forth tension between John Fury and Carl Froch. He says John Fury dislikes Froch, while Froch has publicly mentioned Fury before. Goff details discussions of a potential exhibition or boxing match, noting John Fury's insistence that the financial terms be suitable. Froch's response shows willingness to compromise for charity. The commentary highlights the ongoing rivalry, the negotiation over stakes, and the calculated approach both fighters have toward meeting in the ring. It underlines the seriousness behind Fury's words and Froch's composed reaction, showing the clash of personalities and strategic thinking.
John Fury was doing that and goading Carl Froch. And I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. But Carl Froch, I know, has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, the, any man, any time, was saying words to the effect of, oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right. And Carl Froch basically said, all right, well, if we arrange payment, it can go to charity.
Duke McKenzie comments on Carl Froch's new training footage, describing him as explosive and powerful, but also noting moments where his stamina dips. He highlights Froch's ability to hit hard and keep moving before tiring, giving insight into his fight rhythm and physical conditioning. McKenzie's analysis portrays Froch as unpredictable in bursts, capable of dominating with his power, yet showing human limits when stamina fades. The commentary focuses on Froch's fight readiness and strategic approach in training, emphasizing both his strengths and the small vulnerabilities that define his style in the lead-up to any fight.
Froch is well equipped. He's well versed, and he's been a world champion, so he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Adam Smith explains that Carl Froch has been taking shots at the Furies on his channel, which provoked John Fury to respond. Smith notes John Fury is not necessarily refusing a fight, but he is clearly agitated by Froch's comments. He suggests the rivalry has an entertaining side, showing both fighters enjoy the verbal sparring as much as the prospect of action. Smith's commentary underlines the tension between the two, the psychological battle leading to a possible confrontation, and how both men use media and messaging to build hype. It presents the situation as a mix of provocation and showmanship.
Carl having a go at the Furies, probably over his time on his channel, maybe, I'm guessing, and John didn't like that and wants to have a fight with him, something like that.
It was something like that. I don't think he was still necessarily turning down a fight.
What I do know is that John Fury and Carl Froch on the cobbles will be fun. I think they both have a good time.
Joe Egan exposes John Fury and mocks him for avoiding a proper fight. He claims he would beat Fury in a barn or the ring because Fury is in the wrong, calling him a fake hard man. Egan details Fury's alleged cowardice while emphasizing his own readiness to step in and prove his toughness. The commentary focuses on Egan's confident dismantling of Fury's reputation, highlighting Fury's accusations, Fury's avoidance of direct confrontation, and the threat posed by those willing to hold him accountable. It frames the conflict as a clash of courage and authenticity in the boxing world.
And because he called me a fake and a fraud, fake hard man. I will show him how much of a fake hard man I am. He's the one that's shying away from the...
Eddie Hearn states that if John Fury confronted Carl Froch directly, he would immediately be knocked out. Hearn highlights that in live combat or any confrontation, Fury lacks the ability to land effectively on Froch, emphasizing Froch's defensive awareness and control. He points out that professional fighters like Froch do not allow opponents to make careless advances, demonstrating a high level of discipline and ring intelligence. Hearn's commentary frames the situation in a fight-ready context, portraying John Fury as reckless and overconfident while Froch remains calculated and protected by his experience. The analysis underlines the gap in skill, showing Froch's preparedness to counter any threat and reinforcing his status as a seasoned and dangerous opponent.
Away from each other.
I think if John Fury stuck it on Carl Froch in his space, I think he would chin him immediately.
Really? Even live on Netflix?
Yes. Because these guys, they don't allow you to...
MAMS Taylor expresses that a potential fight between John Fury and Carl Froch would be realistic and he would like to facilitate it. He clearly states that a matchup with John Fury is more likely than the alternative fights being discussed. Taylor's remarks emphasize that the two men are being seriously considered for a proper confrontation and that the boxing world is watching closely. He underscores John Fury's willingness to engage with Froch, highlighting the tension and anticipation building around this potential clash. Taylor frames the situation as a serious prospect, noting the practical and professional considerations that surround arranging such a fight, reflecting the hype and the high stakes for both fighters in the eyes of promoters and fans alike.
I'd like to say yes. If it is going to happen, I'd like to be the one to make it happen. But we'll see.
What would you say is more realistic? Carl Froch versus John Fury or Carl Froch versus Darren Till?
John Fury versus Carl Froch.
Liam Goff explains that John Fury has repeatedly reacted to Carl Froch's mentions of him, showing ongoing tension. He notes that Froch has referenced Fury in the past, and that the two have discussed arranging a potential exhibition or boxing match. John Fury's insistence on proper financial terms demonstrates that he takes the encounter seriously and wants conditions to suit him, while Froch's response shows a willingness to meet for charity, highlighting professionalism and strategy. Goff outlines how both fighters are negotiating terms publicly, creating hype and anticipation. His analysis captures the psychology behind the exchanges, the preparation, and the strategic messaging each man uses to assert dominance and test the other, demonstrating the depth of their rivalry and the potential spectacle for fans.
John Fury was doing that and goading Carl Froch, and I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. But Carl Froch I know has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, any man, any time, was saying words to the effect of, "Oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right." And Carl Froch basically said, "Alright, well, if we arrange payment, it can go to charity." And
Ade Oladipo observes that John Fury aggressively approached Carl Froch during the press conference. He notes that Carl Froch had provoked Fury with comments over previous months, prompting Fury to act immediately. Oladipo highlights Fury's impulsive and confrontational nature, showing he reacts quickly to challenges. His commentary emphasizes that Fury's actions are unpredictable, creating tension and drama. He also notes the entertainment value of Fury's approach, framing the incident as both chaotic and captivating for fans. Oladipo explains that while Fury's intentions are aggressive, the exact outcome remains uncertain, underlining the unpredictability and high stakes of interactions between experienced fighters and strong personalities in the public eye.
The fights. I mean, John Fury looked like he was trying to fight Carl Froch. Obviously, Carl has said a few things about John Fury over the last few months, and John Fury, being John Fury, went straight for him. I'm not quite sure what he was going to do if he got to him, but I guess that was the entertainment from the press conference.
John Fury has been relentless in his accusations and threats, while Carl Froch has remained composed, responding with sharp words that expose Fury's age and question his stamina. Fury has pushed the narrative of cheating and steroids, making it clear he feels provoked and intends to defend his reputation at any cost. Carl Froch has dismissed these claims, highlighting his Hall of Fame career, experience, and readiness to handle high-pressure fights while showing no signs of being intimidated. Observers like Eddie Hearn and Duke McKenzie emphasize the gap in skill and conditioning, suggesting that Fury's aggression may not be enough against a fighter of Froch's caliber. With both men exchanging public challenges, threats, and negotiations over financial terms, the tension has reached boiling point and fans are on the edge of their seats waiting to see if this escalates into a proper fight. Mentally, Froch appears controlled, confident, and sharp while Fury relies on his notoriety and bravado. The stakes are huge for reputation, legacy, and pride. Who will hold their nerve and who will crack under pressure? Let us know in the comments whose side you are on and join the debate, because this is one showdown the world will not want to miss.